unwashed hair and unbrushed teeth. How? I know we've talked about teeth before, and everyone went mad. Carol Vorderman screamed at me. I don't mean that literally, because I like Carol, but she sent some tweet saying that I was the devil incarnate or something. I don't know, because I suggested every child should have its teeth brushed. Come on. If you can't send your child in with a clean blouse, or clean shirt, or clean pants, or clean trousers, or socks, or whatever, what are you doing? Well, Emma Cantrell is founder and chief executive of First Days and joins me now. Privileged to have you on. I hope I can call you Emma. What's First Days all about? Can I ask you to give your organisation a bit of a plug on the wireless? Good morning.
Absolutely. Good morning. We help families who are struggling financially. So we help them out with school uniforms, with beds, with baby equipment, all that stuff that's quite expensive.
Indeed.
And crucially, we give them lots and lots of support so that they don't need to come back to us again. So we help them work out what's going on and how they can never need charity help again.
Well, credit to you, and I wish you nothing but good luck. But those, as you rightly referenced, Emma, are big items. Talking about beds and uniforms can be hideously expensive. But when it comes to brushing children's teeth or washing their hair, what do you make of parents who aren't doing that?
I think it's much more complicated than you are. Well, so brushing teeth, absolutely. That is something that we need to get children to do every day. Now, we can afford toothbrushes and toothpaste in this house. It's still a battle to get my children to brush their teeth. So, that's something that is tricky. It is a huge problem. It's a massive problem. And actually, we have lots of families who come to us and we stock them up with toothbrushes and toothpaste to try and encourage...
they can't afford a tooth. I know I've done this before, but they can't afford a toothbrush.
Well, it's a much bigger problem, isn't it? Because
it's two for 25p.
Well, it's about everything you can afford. And I think it's the overwhelm that parents feel when they feel that they can't afford to put the oven on to cook dinner. It's all those extra things add up. So it's about taking the pressure off. It's about removing those barriers from brushing teeth, right? Have a toothbrush, have some toothpaste. Stops you worrying about...
But if you don't, and credit to you, and I'm sure you work damn hard, and well done to you, and I wish you nothing but success with getting beds and uniform. But and absolutely, because jackets and blazers are absurdly expensive. But come on, if you're helping a parent brush its child's teeth, they'll never learn themselves, Emma.
Oh, I absolutely couldn't agree more. Charities like mine should not exist. We shouldn't actually be needing to give out school uniforms and beds. Every parent should be able to provide everything they need for their children. But at this moment in time, we are in a situation where parents are beyond overwhelmed. We've got parents who have worked out exactly how much a shower costs in their gas or electricity bill, exactly how much it costs to put the oven on, and the washing machine to wash the school clothes so children are clean.
Well, you can wash by hand. Sorry to talk over you, but you can wash by hand, of course.
Well, okay, you absolutely can. But when you can't put your heating on to dry those clothes and you've washed them in cold water and they are, soaking wet, where are you drying them in your flat with no outside space and no heating, that is going to get mouldy and damp and add to the problems? I think there's so much more complexity to this than simply you can wash your clothes in the shower or you can, absolutely get your children set up to brush their teeth. It's a really overwhelmed and complex situation that parents are in.
How did you react when you heard these findings from the Hygiene Bank? Either you read them or one of my colleagues phoned you up and told you about it. What was your initial reaction?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. We have schools that have installed washing machines so that they can wash the children's clothes because they know that the parents have no washing facilities. So I'm not surprised. It's really disappointing, and it's part of a much bigger thing. There needs to be more money in families' pockets.
Well, hold on.
And then they will be able to do these things.
Okay. I think, Emma, actually, you and I are a little bit more on the same page than perhaps some might think. But as regards providing for shampoos and whatever, what's child benefit for?
Food, heating, getting to work, all of those. It's all part of the family budget that isn't enough. And especially with the cost of food that's gone up, so massively, all of those things.
Again, I don't want this to be personal because I think your charity's doing great work, but I'm sure you're aware you can go to a pound shop and buy a big bucket of shampoo for £1, and that will see your kids in a good place probably for a month.
Yeah, and are they washing in a cold shower every morning?
Well,
having cold showers, fantastic. Does that set them up for the day, for school, for learning?
But what's more important than your child or your children? And after that, what's more important than their education? And I would answer nothing. Sorry to talk over you, but nothing in both cases.
Well, I couldn't agree more.
Apart from the health.
The absolute vast majority of the families we work with day in, day out are working so hard to provide everything for their children and give them the best. And, be under no illusion, there are parents up and down the country who are going without everything to support their children and make sure their children have all those things, but it's still not enough. And that's what's so tragic about this report.
The charity is First Days. Emma Cantrell is founder and chief executive. Thank you for your input. They do everything from beds and school uniform and probably school shoes too, all the way down to toothbrushes and shampoo. Thanks for your input. Let's see what you're saying about that. Nick's in Holland Park. Nick?
Hi, Nick. That woman, Emma, very well-meaning, but she is part of the problem. We have a bleeding heart liberal establishment. It's all the same people who are excusing shoplifters, excusing parents who don't read to their children, excusing parents who can't teach their children to brush their teeth. And by the way, on children, it is the root cause of a lot of society's ills. There should be I genuinely advocate a qualification to be a parent.
Oh,
it's crazy. No. I'm serious, Nick. It's crazy. Everything else in life. Everything. Well, I think you probably would. But everything in life we do. I need a license to drive a car. I need a qualification and a criminal record check to teach a scout group or a football team. Everything in life is rated, but the one single most important thing any of us humans do, which is to have a child, is entirely unregulated. The worst crackheads, the worst criminals, the people totally unqualified to have children.
Don't go. Nick, please stay on the line. I'd like you to take some of these points on with another caller, Ian in Waterloo. The idea of almost a qualification, as another Nick is suggesting. What would you say to that, Ian? Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Nick. Yeah, that's nuts. We'll just ignore that. It's silly talk.
Well, Nick is listening. Why is it silly talk?
Because people have children and they procreate. You can't have a license or something like that. It's a ridiculous suggestion.
Okay.
Absolutely balmy.
Okay.
Nick, this is 14 years of Tory government, and that is what we should be plastered all over these billboards. You've got kids going to school hungry. You've got parents unable to feed and clothe their children. You've got schools falling apart.
Ian, that's their choices not to... Well, let's let Nick in. Let's see what... I'll have my say in a minute. Nick, what would you say to Ian? This is the virtually 14 years of Tory mismanagement. Nick, speak to Ian.
Ian, it's attitudes like yours and like the previous correspondent, Emma, that are the root cause of the problem. You really think that we can license dogs, we can license all sorts of things, but anyone, the worst parents and the people you know are going to be bad parents, you know they're going to be bad parents, are going to have children, and they're the ones that soak up all the police time, all the social service money. They're the ones that send their children into school without proper uniforms. Okay. And if a parent can't send someone in with clean teeth, what sort of parent are they going to be?
Let's get Ian back in. Ian?
Nick, all I'd say to this fella is, what are you going to do if there's an unplanned pregnancy? Are you going to have a forced termination? Right. Are you going to take the child off the parent? What do you do? It's just unworkable. It's completely mad.
I get there, and I don't see how we'd ever... And I don't know that we'd want to move to a situation where you needed a licence to have a child. But to your earlier point, there was poverty under Labour administrations as well, Ian. It's not as if this is a Conservative invention.
No, there's been poverty throughout time. But if you look at it, nothing works, Nick.
But what's child benefit for? Ian, what's child benefit for if it's not to buy a 99p tub of shampoo from the pound shop?
Nick,
what's it for if it's not for that, Ian?
Nick, we're dealing with people who have got nothing. They have to beg, borrow,
they've got
steal.
£24 a week for their child and £15.90 for each additional child. They've not got and they've probably got other benefits as well. Now, I'm not saying it's not tough. It's damn tough. But if you can't give 99p for a tub of shampoo for your child, I think your spending is wrong.
OK, so they've got £25 in child benefit. After Liz Truss's 10 minutes in the spotlight, they've now got an extra £500 a month to find for their mortgage, or an extra £300 for their rent.
I doubt they've got a mortgage, in all honesty, but yeah, go on, yeah.
Or for an extra £300 for their rent, so they have not got the money.